Emily, I really want you as my maid of honor, Chloe said, spinning her engagement ring around her finger. Don't worry if your dress is cheap, we can find something simple online. I nodded, picking at my salad, letting her words slide past me. Mom chimed in, it's for the society pages, darling. We just want everyone to look appropriate. I'd heard this tone my whole life. Ever since quitting law school for that tech venture no one took seriously, I'd been the family disappointment. Chloe, meanwhile, was climbing her way up her father's investment firm ladder, dazzling everyone with her charm. They didn't know that my freelance projects had quietly grown into a cloud infrastructure company I'd sold 3 years ago for $340 million. The modest apartment and Honda Civic were deliberate, easier to let them underestimate me. Have you put down a deposit for the venue? I asked casually. Not yet, Chloe sighed. They need $50,000 up front. Derek's student loans, we'll need Dad's check first. I didn't respond. The next day, I drove out to the estate Chloe had gushed about. Rolling vineyards stretched endlessly, dotted with a Mediterranean-style villa overlooking the valley. Mrs. Whitmore, the owner, greeted me warmly. You want to rent the property for an event? She asked. I'd like to make an offer to book the entire estate, I said, holding up my phone. A quick glance at my bank statement settled her doubts. 3 weeks later, I owned the 150-acre Napa Valley property, including the villa, cottages, and event facilities, for $12.8 million. All staff and bookings stayed, including Chloe's wedding, which remains 6 weeks away. Friday night dinner arrived, and Chloe couldn't stop buzzing about wedding plans. Everything's confirmed, she said, waving a color-coded schedule. Rosewood is perfect. I stayed quiet until she turned to me. Emily, about your dress. I appreciate you thinking of my budget, I said, keeping my voice even. She fumbled. Well. Derek's cousin has a navy dress from her sister's wedding. It's not ideal, but it's cheap. Dad beamed. Nonsense. My little girl deserves the best. Emily, maybe you'll get inspired seeing a real celebration. I nodded quietly. Dessert arrived, and Chloe's phone rang. Her face shifted as she listened, confusion turning into panic. They said there's a change in ownership. The new owner wants to meet me. Dad frowned. Who bought it? I don't know yet, Chloe admitted. Silence fell over the table. Maybe they just want to maintain standards, I offered. Chloe snapped. Easy for you to say. You don't have anything invested. This is my wedding. Mom shook her head. Emily's only trying to help. I smiled faintly, knowing exactly how I could. The next morning, my phone rang before sunrise. It was Chloe. I'm sorry about last night, she said, her voice tight. Emily, I know money's tight, but could you help out with the wedding? Chloe's voice trembled. Even a little contribution would mean a lot. We might need a backup if the venue falls through. Last-minute costs could be $50,000 or more. Even $5,000 would show you're really part of this. You want me to give $5,000? I asked slowly. Yes, I know it's a lot. But this is my wedding, Emily. The most important day of my life. And maybe it's time for you to invest in something bigger than yourself. I stayed silent for a long moment. Chloe, can I ask you something? Of course. Do you actually want me at your wedding? Of course I do. You're my sister. Then why does every conversation revolve around me needing a different dress, spending money I supposedly don't have, or changing myself to fit your perfect vision? Chloe's voice softened. I'm not trying to change you, Emily. I just want you to rise to the occasion. Important people will be there, my sorority sisters, Dad's business partners, Derek's family, Silicon Valley executives. I just want you to shine. I'm not embarrassed of you, I said quietly. I just want to be part of your celebration as me, not as a reflection of your day. She paused. I understand. I can't contribute 5,000, I said firmly. A silence stretched over the line. Emily. I thought you were struggling financially, Chloe said finally. I'm not struggling. And it wouldn't be appropriate for me to give you 5,000 anyway. What are you talking about? I bought the vineyard, Chloe. The Rosewood estate. There was a long pause. You, what? I purchased it 3 weeks ago for 12.8 million. Your wedding is still on schedule. Her voice wavered. This isn't funny. I'm not joking. You can't afford a bridesmaid dress, but apparently I can afford a $12 million property. Another pause. Where did you get that kind of money? I sold my company 3 years ago. The cloud platform I built was acquired by Microata Corporation for $340 million. I've been living quietly and investing my earnings. Chloe's voice dropped. Your company? I thought you just coded small websites. I built a platform acquired by a major corporation. You probably saw the acquisition in tech news. She was silent for so long I worried she might faint. Emily, are you okay? I need to call you back. She hung up. 20 minutes later, my phone exploded with calls and texts, first Chloe, then Mom, then Dad. I let them go to voicemail and kept my morning routine. Chloe's voicemail was panicked. Emily, I had no idea. Why didn't you tell us? How long have you been wealthy? I feel awful about the bridesmaid dress stuff. Mom's message was pure confusion. Honey, Chloe called crying about you owning the vineyard. What's going on? Dad's voicemail was calm but serious. Emily, Chloe says you bought a vineyard. We should have talked as a family about this. I sipped coffee on my balcony, ignoring the buzzing phone. Around noon, I called Chloe back. Why? Thank God. I've been trying to reach you for hours, she said. I saw. I don't know where to start. Is it true? You really own Rosewood? Yes. And yes, I have millions. But you live in that tiny apartment. I like my apartment. I drive a reliable car. I don't need expensive things to be happy. Chloe was quiet. Emily, I owe you the biggest apology. For what? For treating you like you were less successful. For assuming you were struggling. For the dress comments, asking for money. You didn't know. But the bigger issue is you never asked. You assumed. I didn't correct you because I wanted our relationship to be about more than money. Tears in her voice now. I'm so sorry. You're my sister and I should have supported you. You didn't need to judge. The advice about career motivation. Funny in hindsight, considering your little sister was quietly running a multi-million-dollar investment portfolio. Yes. Can you forgive me? There's nothing to forgive. You're my sister. I love you. Even if I do think we should clarify expectations for your wedding. What do you mean? As the venue owner, I want your wedding perfect. But as your sister, I want to make sure you want me there as family, not someone to manage. Chloe paused. You're right. I got so focused on a flawless wedding, I forgot what weddings are about. I want you there because you've always been there for me, even when I didn't deserve it. Even if I wear a Target dress. She laughed through tears. Wear what makes you happy. Can I ask something? Sure. Will you be okay knowing I spent 12 million on this vineyard? I'm comfortable. My net worth is still over 300 million after the purchase. Silence. 300 million. Give or take. You're richer than Dad, she whispered, laughter and tears mingling. I offered you a used bridesmaid dress. I asked for 5,000. Told you it was networking. But Derek's family will probably want to invest with you, not network. This is insane. It is. And complicated. But we'll figure it out. And I've been awful. You haven't been awful, I said gently. You've been stressed about planning a big event. I asked my multimillionaire sister for $5,000 to help pay for a wedding at a venue I own. Put that way, it does sound ridiculous. Chloe was quiet. Emily, can I ask why you bought rosewood? Was it because of my wedding? I considered carefully. When you first described it, I was curious. But mostly, I fell in love with the property. Mrs. Whitmore needed to sell, and I wanted to give her the security of knowing it would be cared for. Will you keep running it as an event venue? For now. I enjoy hosting celebrations, though I might shift focus to family events rather than just high-end society parties. That sounds perfect for you. Chloe, there's something else we need to talk about. What? Your wedding budget. Oh no, Emily. I can't let you pay for my wedding. That wouldn't be right. I'm not offering to pay for it. I'm offering to host it. What's the difference? You're my sister. I want to give you the wedding of your dreams as my gift, not because you need help, but because I love you and want to celebrate your marriage. Chloe started crying. Emily, that's too much. It's not too much if it makes you happy. The venue fee alone is $85,000. $85,000? That's. I spend that on coffee in a year. Exaggeration, maybe. But the point is, this gift won't impact my finances. Hosting your celebration would mean everything to me. Are you sure? I'm sure. One condition, you wear whatever makes you feel beautiful, eat what makes you happy, and celebrate with people who love you for who you are. No more worrying about impressing photographers or social media. That sounds amazing. And Chloe, I'd be honored to be your maid of honor, but only if you want me there as your sister, not a prop for your photos. I want nothing more than to have you beside me on the most important day of my life. Then let's plan a wedding. Over the next several weeks, everything shifted. Chloe canceled the magazine photographers, cut the guest list in half, and focused on family and close friends. Together, we crafted a celebration that reflected her and Derek's personalities, not what looked impressive on paper. I kept my ownership of the vineyard quiet from extended family and friends, letting Chloe share the news as she wished. Most people assumed I was simply helping with planning, which suited me fine. The morning of the wedding, Chloe found me in the bridal suite at 6 a.m., though the ceremony wasn't until 4. Emily, are you awake? Now I am, I said, opening the door. She stood in pajamas, tears in her eyes. I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking. I've been a terrible sister. I guided her to sit. Chloe, we've talked about this. You haven't been terrible. Yes, I have. Not just the money stuff, before that, too. I never asked about your work. I never included you in my social circle because I thought you wouldn't fit in. I treated you like the little sister who needed guidance instead of seeing what you were building. Let me finish. You've given me the most beautiful gift imaginable. Not just paying for this wedding, but letting me have the celebration I truly wanted, not the one I thought I should want. You've been patient while I figured out how to be a better sister. I sat beside her. Do you know the best part of this whole experience? What? Getting to know who you really are when you're not trying to impress anyone, the sister who cried tasting Mrs. Whitmore's wine, who insisted on handwriting thank you notes, who swapped exotic orchids for wildflowers from our childhood backyard. You noticed all that? Of course. You're my sister. I love watching you be yourself. Chloe hugged me tightly. Thank you for seeing me and loving me while I figured it out. The wedding was perfect in ways money couldn't buy. Chloe radiated genuine happiness. Derek looked at her like she was his world. Our parents cried for all the right reasons. During the reception, Dad pulled me aside. I owe you an apology. For what? For not taking your work seriously. For assuming that because you weren't on a traditional career path, you weren't succeeding. You couldn't have known. But I wish you'd asked. Well, now I do. Your daughter is brilliant, successful, and generous. I'm proud of who you've become. As the evening wound down, I stepped onto the vineyard terrace, admiring the valley view. Chloe appeared beside me, still in her wedding dress. Hiding from your own party? I asked. This was the most perfect day of my life, she said. Can I ask something? Always. Are you truly happy, with your life, choices, everything? I am. I love my work, this property, and our family. Even when you're being impossible. Especially then, that's when you need love most. She leaned against the railing. Emily, I want you to know that money doesn't determine worth. I should have treated you better. No, it doesn't. But it makes a pretty great wedding venue, I teased. It doesn't hurt, she laughed. As stars twinkled over the vineyard, I realized she was right. This day was perfect not because of money or appearances, but because it was real. Chloe had chosen love over image, family over status, and authenticity over perfection. Sometimes the best gift isn't wealth or property, it's patience, love, and letting someone become who they really are. The next morning, I found a handwritten note from Chloe on my door. Emily, thank you for the most beautiful wedding, the most beautiful venue, and most importantly, for being the most beautiful sister. I promise to spend my life worthy of your patience and generosity. I love you more than words can say. See? I smiled, tucked it beside the property deed for Rosewood Estate. Some investments pay dividends in dollars. Others pay in relationships deeper and more genuine than money could buy.